top North American Grandmaster player from Sloth Esports Club. It is Gametime. In the bottom left, from Root Gaming, a worthy opponent. It is Vibe. Zerg versus Zerg on Eastwatch. So, ZVC. Well, I forget what is the name of that email. What is the code? I'm hype right now. Gametime so hype. Gametime hype all the time. He doesn't stop being hype. He's always hype. I think that's kind of a given. But anyways, I'm chill at the moment. Okay, we're getting our feelings out of the way to start out. Very North American way to play. Coffee break? Does that work? Let me try it. Coffee break. What? Maybe it doesn't work in replays. I don't know. Anyway. Now, ZVZ, it really does come down to vision. Having these overlords in the right spot at the right time. Now, Eastwatch is a little different. Eastwatch, one of the largest maps in the pool, which makes it very difficult to always have complete vision. So sneaking a Ling run by around the side, getting some roaches out, maybe getting a Nidus into the massive main base. These are things we need to be watching for. The way ZVZ normally boils out, what boils down makes more sense, is some Ling, Baneling pressure early, and we don't see any early pulls. We see a hatch first or a defensive pool of some variety at each side. So no early shenanigans here. And then once both players are kind of confident they can no longer put pressure on, we transition into the roaches. And then it becomes a dance of roach upgrades and timings and position and ravager shots. And then if we keep going, eventually we're looking at lurkers. And now, this is unlikely. It almost never happens, but if we keep going from there, we go to hive tech, vipers, broodlords, shenanigans. You rarely see it. I'd love to see it, but you rarely see it. So, a lot of games are decided either on the Ling Bane pressure into roach timings, or in the hot roach-on-roach action with everybody spitting acid on each other. It's a weird night. But as we see the openings shake down, it's going to be Vibe going for a little bit of a greedier third base. Gametime, on the other hand, opting for more drones before picking up his third. Just a bit of a stylistic choice. Neither is right, neither is wrong. But I won't lie to you, there's nothing really interesting happening right now. Vibe is actually adding on some more things. Wait, no, that's Gametime, never mind. I get the colors mixed up. But adding on a lot more Lings here. He got that first influx of drones, but now he's following up with some Ling Bane Ling pressure, and this is aggressive. He's going up to double-digit Lings with several Banes. Bane's already on the other side of the map, looking to intercept maybe some of Vibe's Lings. Vibe going to, as cost-effectively as possible, defend his own base, ideally trying to attack on the other side as well, giving him an opening to drone. But the real question here is, when do we see Lair Tech, not Lair Tech, but Roach Tech maybe try to come in? One Baneling coming up, looking to soak. Are there going to be any kills out of these first two Banes? He's able to swing around. He snuck the first 3 kills right off the bat. Now Gametime pretty deep in the paint. He's gone past the front lines, trying to snipe off more drones. He will pick up 3 or 4 more. Some Banes at the front, slipping through the little gaps there in between the Baneling nest and the hatchery. Gametime sliding around. We got Banelings on the side. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Hot and heavy. It looks like a big connection for both sides when the smoke and acid clear. Vibe will clear up the Zerglings, but at what cost? 8 drones went down. In the units lost tab, Gametime has lost more, but he threw a lot more Zerglings into the fray. Vibe immediately replacing those drones, though. He does have his third base. He still has plenty of production. He had more drones at the start of that exchange, so Gametime had to do damage to even it out. A good trade there for Gametime, but not great. And it does mean we're probably going to even up going into the early mid-game here. It got a little dicey, a little bit hot and heavy. But overall, it looks like Gametime's not done. He's banking on Vibe just sitting back, not making enough units to deal with this. But it looks like Vibe is actually going to bite here. More Banelings are coming in. Will they get the connect they're looking for on the drones? Not quite. Another set of Banes. Remember, Vibe in blue here. Gametime with some great micro dancing back and forth. Another set of Banes coming in. How many more drones are going to go down? Gametime, the Bane Pain train, has left the station, but it seems it's been derailed. No more drones are killed, but behind this, Gametime pumping out the drones himself. That'll put him in the lead. 44 drones against 34. Vibe adding on 24 more links. He is almost obligated to attack now. Gametime has a roach worm behind, but very noticeably, neither player with a lair, neither player with +1 upgrades. So this means we're still just on sheer units. This is very aggressive, especially for the size of the map. Gametime getting a little bit more damage than maybe he expected. But Vibe now with a fury on the other side of the map. It's going to be 21 lings to 13. There's a handful of roaches on the field. I don't think either player is going to bring them across. More drones are going down on this side. A couple Banes are finally coming up. Vibe ideally wants to pick off these drones. The Queen is also going to be pretty helpful. But a Baneling will drive things away, and we're evened up 42-42. Call it a draw. But at the same time, Vibe pumping out 11 more drones. He started his lair. The evolution chamber's in the mail, whereas Gametime is pumping out roaches. I would say, after all of this, as long as Vibe can hold on without any more damage before that lair tech comes up, he is in the lead now. That counter damage, it forced out. It delayed the tech of Gametime. Oh. Trading 5 lings for 2 Banes, not a bad call. The roach count is 15-3. And now, I'm not an expert in math, but oftentimes 15 is more than 3. Which means Gametime coming across with a dangerous army. Neither player has speed, neither has +1. So this is kind of like a little bit of sumo wrestling about to happen where we bash our roaches into each other and see who can push the other one out. Without +1, those Zerglings can soak up a lot of damage and deal it out as well. Gametime just going deep in again, straight to the net, not trying to go for drones at the third. He's trying to trade out these roaches as effectively as possible. He sees the roach warren is spinning up. He sees the lair is done. He knows roach speed is on the way. Is this a worthy trade for Gametime? Only time will tell. I don't think so. How many more drones? He picks up a couple more. He forces out roaches from Vibe. He actually has 62 drones behind this, so the seesaw back and forth continues. But once again, the size of the map means that neither player can lay down a killing blow and easily follow it up. Without roach speed, you're just waddling across that map at impulse speed until really there is no easy 1-2 follow-up attack potential. Not when players have overlords. If you look at the vision of each player, any sort of easy attack path is covered. You're not going to hide any attack coming across, not for a while yet. Not until we see either Ravagers with Corrosive Bile, maybe some Hydras. These roaches are left out between a rock and a hard place. Queens don't hurt. Creep Spread here for Vibe. Remember, Creep Spread, of course, the benefit works both ways. But the vision goes to Vibe, and 99% of the time, defensively, Creep Spread is better than for the attacker. The only time where you don't want to Creep Spread, in ZVZ maybe, is if you're going for something like Mutas, and your opponent is going for Hydras. In that case, your Creep Spread will benefit them more than yourself. Alright, so Vibe out on the map, 136 to 145 supply. Gametime actually getting a little supply block, but so is Vibe as well. Gametime taking the gold base for those juicy golden minerals, whereas Vibe a little bit safer right in the middle of the map. These queens racking up the Overlord kill count. Is there a timing here? +1 attack for either side. Gametime about even on army supply. He has a handful of Ravagers. He's clearing up these Overlords. It's going to be very dangerous to attack in the front. One of those Corrosive Biles off target. We're still in an awkward situation. Those Ravagers very expensive. Gametime going to take down the rocks. Is he going to take them down again in order to open up a potential opportunity? It looks like both sides are going to help out Rocks, the true enemy of every Zerg. A Christmas truce in the middle of the map. We kill together. Co-op enabled for just a moment. But, once again, back to their corners. The worker count 69 for Gametime with a gold base, so his income significantly higher than that of Vibe. He has a bit banked up, though he's not maxed out quite yet. No next level of tech. What is the choice? Hydras, Spire, Infestation Pit? Do you just keep leaning on the roaches? It looks like he's taking these trades right now. Vibe coming forward, going to force Gametime back. Those corrosive bowels, the sheer number of them. The Ravager count right now is 8 to 5. Doesn't seem that significant, but it gets to a point where there are so many corrosive bowels you can just no longer fight in a location. There's a Spire coming out of Gametime, and of course, if you only have Roaches and Ravagers, you essentially have no anti-air, which could create... Oh, God. Vibe is going... Are we doing this? Are we doing this? Is this what's happening? A triple kill coming out on the Overlords. The base trade begins! On one side, Vibe is already in the face of Gametime. If he can kill the Spire in time, that could be a game-winning move, but Gametime is on the 4th. He can continue to cut in and gut the bases. It comes down to production. It comes down to who keeps their tech alive. Roach Warren for Gametime still alive for now. He is supply blocked. He's starting to lose some of that supply and is able to rebuild units. The Spire doesn't look like it's going to finish. That might not be the place to go for the Roach Warren. Gametime going for the heart of the swarm, but Vibe is doing the same, splitting roaches between either base. He got the Roach Warren. There are no more roaches in production. There's only a spawning pool for Vibe. Both players with money in the bank. It's unclear as to who's going to come out on top. The army supply goes to Vibe here, but that any engagement could still go either way. Gametime hesitating for a bit, takes a breather. Now is not the time for caution. Drones are out on the map, 35 to 15. Only 15 surviving for Gametime. He'll lose this. Vibe already on top of things. The Spire's down. The Roach Warren is down. There is no more tech for Gametime. At the same time, I'm saying time a lot, but Vibe has lost his spawning pool, his Roach Warren, his lair. He has no options either. Nobody can build anything. Vibe has money in the bank, but Gametime has a bit of his own. So who comes out on top? So Roaches try to escape. This is a bit of an awkward exchange. Most of the drones of Vibe have made it to the opposite side of the map. Gametime has hatcheries all over the place. Vibe is down to 0 buildings and 1 hatchery. Oh, that was so close. He almost just got eliminated from the game. Just a technicality there. It would have been a TKO if he hadn't built this hatchery within like 5 or 6 seconds. He would have had no buildings left. And then suddenly, he's just simply not in the game anymore. More corrosive bowels going out. Gonna knock down a few more Overlords. Vibe is now supply blocked. Even if he builds these hatcheries, he can't build anything from them. But Burrow is done for Vibe. He has the ability to regenerate these roaches. He doesn't have tunneling claws, though. This engagement, it looks like we've all beat on each other's bases for long enough. We're gonna go draw our battle lines. Even supply, 141 to 141, but army supply goes in favor of Gametime. I'm not sure what happened there. The upgrades, +2 was killed for Vibe. Gametime has the better army. +2 is a significant upgrade advantage, but triple kill comes out. Gametime is now, wait, not supply blocked. He has, where did he get his Overlords out to? They're just scattered around the map. The gold base goes down. So we're back with worse economies than we started with. There are huge roach armies here. After the apocalypse essentially happened for either side. The bases are gone. There is no infrastructure. There is no production. We have to work with what we have. One roach will scout this out. What a mess. Vibe has a handful more, 49 to 46 roaches, 14 Ravagers for Gametime, with better upgrades. The bile dodges have to begin, but Vibe, remember, he got more drones out, and he has a bigger bank. So if Vibe gets to a lair and possibly gets to Mutas, this is such a weird situation, because Vibe, the longer... He doesn't know how many drones Gametime has. He doesn't know exactly. Oh, Gametime gonna pick a fight, but the corrosive biles are devastating. I don't know if Gametime should be doing this. Gametime knows his economy isn't great. He knows Vibe got a lot of drones out as well. He didn't go for the third base when they were trading. So that means Vibe could have an economy. He could be rebuilding his tech. Well, still, the upgrades are good here. If Gametime eats a few more corrosive biles, that's another wave of roaches. Down goes the Overseer. And with it, a lot of vision over these bushes. As you see, Vibe now locked out. The burrow will regenerate these roaches very quickly. A very useful ability here. More Ravagers coming in. Those Ravagers are going to have full HP. The ghetto regen here. Gametime seems pretty eager to pick a fight because he's still not sure of Vibe's situation. Vibe kind of the same way. There is imperfect information. Neither player knows exactly how much got out, how close they are to another level of tech, how many drones are mining. These are all incredibly important things. Gametime has the edge. He has the army supply. He's rebuilt the Roach Horn and used his bank, a huge advantage. That means 32 to 26 roaches, 17 to 8 Ravagers. Gametime has the killing army here. It's going to take some massive corrosive bios in a great position for Vibe to hold on, as he doesn't have the upgrades, he doesn't have the numbers, he doesn't have the hope. He's making a lair, but he can't spend that bank. Here comes, oh, massive corrosive bios in the center mass, but doesn't matter. More bios are coming through. I'm not sure whose or whose. Gametime micros back. He's eviscerated the front lines. Now going for the heart of the swarm. The Ravagers are all that are left. Gametime on top of these bases. He's starting to realize he may have what it takes. The corrosive bios knock out all the larvae that was producing as well. Vibe looking like he's about to tap out. The Ravagers are on the run, but they cannot hide. Well, I guess technically they could burrow, but that corrosive bio would kill them. Another couple. It looks like Gametime putting the icing on the cake. If there was just a Spire here for Vibe, he would have a dream. He has money. But he just simply can't spend it. Money isn't everything. Money can't buy happiness, and money can't buy you a Spire any more quickly. The last stand. Vibe on his high ground against Gametime's Roaches and Ravagers encroaching. It's just not enough. What? Why? Gametime has 2 drones over here. We're not sure what. Well, these are some badly bruised units. He's trying to spend every little bit of larva. Good micro here. Gametime still. Maybe, like, the Spire's on the way. There is a dream. This queen going to work. Buying some time with her death. The Spire is finishing. Gametime on 28 drones, though. Down goes the base. The Broodlings, a real and present danger. Vibe will hold. The Spire is scouted. But Gametime, what does he have for anti-air? Vibe defends. The last shining city on a hill with a Spire completed. But there's no larva. He can build 3 mutas, and that's it. Gametime has the economy. He doesn't... Does he have a lair? He does not have a lair. The burrow being utilized for every little bit. But does Gametime just simply have the numbers? I believe he does. I mean, the roaches are coming up trying to make the trades, but some of the roaches being gunned down. More roaches. He's suiciding. He's trading roaches for time. The burrow, he dances in and out. There is no burrow for Gametime. These roaches will go down. More mutas come out. This is starting to become a real threat. Once he gets enough mutas, he can drive back. He goes for the attack upgrade. I guess if you don't have the larva. But now, this is all the gas. He's literally out of gas. Gametime with the lair on the way. If he gets 6 or 7 Hydras out, that's it. 6 or 7 Hydras with +2, more than enough. But there are no spores. Gametime did not invest in any spores. He is now. I'm not sure what he was waiting for, but he's going to lose a lot of his drones. He has drones to lose, but this is where the lair is. I guess he could target it down, but I don't think that's a worthy choice. That's a big target there, and he has to come back home to defend. He's bringing some mutas back as well. Gametime just throwing roaches into the fray. More gonna go down. What's the choice? The lair is done. Gametime doesn't have enough money for a Hydra Den. He spent a lot on spores. Vibe, desperately muta microing here. About to have the +1. He's getting 6 more drones at home. Both players, after the base trade, none of the first 4 bases either player took are taken. But now they're going to be on 3 and 4 bases respectively. In the one of the weirdest base trades I have ever seen, especially in ZVZ. But the splash damage of the glaives doing a great job. He might be able to pick these off. The queen's going down. Some of the production. Clutch transfuse. The spore crawler will zone out these mutas. He can't afford to lose them. Where is the anti-air? Where is the Hydra Den? Vibe doing his best. Even the roaches coming up. Very, very cheeky roaches up on this. Another queen gonna be taken out. More production going down. The Hydra Den just now starts, but Vibe's starting to gain real value out of these. The mutas can zone out the roaches here. The roaches going to the opposite side of the map. How many? The question is, how many will Vibe bring back? He has some vision. This creep on the map giving him some vision here. Gametime is down to 30 drones while Vibe is re-droning. Vibe is still in this game. The roaches take out the spore. The mutas can come in to help. The Hydra Den is done, but he's only building one Hydra. There are 8 mutas on the map. They could deal with one Hydra. What's on the other? Oh, but the 5 roach hit squad. The mutas scramble back. They fly fast, but not fast enough. The Spire is under fire. The Spire, the key. Oh, he unburrows for the transfuse. It came from below. He's going for it. The muta's trying to save their home building. Will he get the Spire? Yes! The snipe. But he can go back into roaches. He's still going to have a lot of mutas. It's still a real threat. He's going to have 11 is the total. How many Hydras? Only 3 Hydras to meet him. The 5 roach hit squad coming in. 84 supply for Gametime. He still has the worker lead. Roach Hydra with better upgrades is still a strong advantage here. But the micro potential of these mutas is insanely high. He actually managed to either intuit or see some of these roaches moving out, but more roaches going down. This is giving Vibe time. He's still down on economy. He's building roaches. Roach Ravager with the mutas above. Against just this. More roaches are going out. What is this? Oh my god. My phone is saying it's time. I have an alarm that's like, wow, you slept in way too long. It's time to go give the nerds what they want, which is more StarCraft. But unfortunately, I started 3 hours before that alarm today, and it doesn't know what it's doing. The muta's still trying to go for an opportunity. The supply is drawing even once again. Oh, a free Hydra. A very nice pickup. It's 3 bases to 3 bases. A 4 roach hit squad on the other side. Vibe has missed this, and he can't afford to be losing workers. He comes in with the mutas. Oh, and he's not paying attention! 3 mutas picked off, and he can't replace them. Every muta is precious, and so is every drone. Gametime doing what he needs to do to close this out. It seems, I mean, with 44 workers, he has the Hydras. The muta count is down to 8. Not even enough to one-shot mutas and one-shot Hydras anymore, which is an important point. This Hydra Den in a very interesting position. Oh, but roaches coming in, find an opportunity, but the numbers aren't quite there. It seems like Gametime is building up that force. He's trying to get whatever pickoffs he can. Oh, I mean, the pickoffs are very good. Some more queens. Gametime very reliant on these queens as well. The transfuse comes through. Vibe looking for everything. He's gonna find a gas geyser maybe. A couple more drones go down to the glyphs. You gotta give Vibe credit. I mean, he's still at 32. It's still not over. Gametime keeps having to rebuild drones. A lot of his supply is in the queens as well. Almost gets the Ravagers. Oh, real deep in the paint, though, with these mutas here. I don't know about this. What, you can fly up there? Of course you can. Why wouldn't you be able to? What a fool. What a fool I am. But the Death Army... Are we going to base trade a second time? Is that even... No, there's no way. Vibe's roaches, he's going to try to fight. No, you can't. That's too many Hydras. That has to be it. Well, there aren't that many roaches in front, and Hydras die easy. No, the numbers aren't there. From the high ground as well. The mutas are gone. GG. Vibe taps it out. Gametime comes out on top by that much. What? The near double base trade. If you didn't know this map, if you didn't know Eastwatch, you would just think, oh, they started here and expanded to these 3 bases. Nope. Gametime started here. Vibe started here. Now this is what the mini-map looks like. So, about as trade as bases get. But, wow. Yeah, that's